I love a good chant. Hey everybody, you know my name. It's Terri. I'm a fairly new mom. Thanks, you guys, but I've heard the other things you've applauded today, so. It was nice of you to try, though. I'm a fairly new mom, which I think is actually supposed to mean that I am suddenly a good person who makes really sound decisions. All it's tended to mean is that my Halloween costume options have gotten, like, a lot more realistic. Like, Rosemary's Baby, The Hangover, fucking, like, Bride of Chucky. I mean, you can tape a knife into a baby's hand. They don't have free will yet. The other day, my husband and I went to pick her up at daycare, and the teachers, when we got there, pulled us aside and said, "Your daughter has started hitting some of the other children." I'm like, they're talking, and I'm just getting more and more and more upset. And I'm looking around the classroom, and I'm just thinking, like, which one of these fucking pussy-ass toddlers broke the first rule of Fight Club? Last weekend I bought her a new pair of pajamas, and I brought them home, and I noticed that there is this huge bright yellow tag on the inside of them that says, "Loose-fitting garment is more likely to catch fire." When? When is it more likely to catch fire? Like, if she's in an oven? That I get, and I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure that doesn't happen. But, like, I feel like these companies are really just, like, preying on the fears of new parents. And I'm like, I'm not succumbing to that. I threw that away, I swaddled her in those huge pants, and I laid her down right next to her favorite space heater. These people are not keeping me up at night worrying, you know? Man, speaking of sleep, though, daylight savings time is back, which parents of toddlers call, "What the fuck? Why? What did we do?" But I actually have a theory about daylight savings time. I think that you can actually tell a lot about a person by the exact time that they set their clock ahead. I mean, not as much as if you read their diary, but if you don't have access to that in a pinch, this is gonna work, right? So here it is. 1, if they set their clock ahead that Saturday night before they go to bed, they're a bit type A. If they set their clock ahead when they wake up on Sunday morning, maybe they're a little devil-may-care. If they set their clock ahead 3 days in advance of daylight savings time, they are my whack job parents. I went over to those nuts' house on that Friday afternoon, and I immediately think that we're late for dinner. And my mom says, "Oh, you just can't trust that clock this week. I mean, yesterday, I got ready for my doctor's appointment, came downstairs, realized I was an hour early, so I just sat at the kitchen table and waited. I guess it's a side effect of this crazy holiday. 1, not a holiday. 2, not a side effect of daylight savings time. Clearly, that's fallout from you being neurotic, retired maniacs." But here's the thing, right? So these guys are parents, right? And so they are suddenly good people who make really sound decisions. And they are the people that I am going to emulate as a parent. So what the fuck chance does my daughter have of normalcy, you know? I recently started a new job. Again. Let me just explain something to you. I have always approached my career path like a porn star. I try every position. Some twice. But I'll tell you though, the position that stands out the most to me, mind you, I didn't say favorite. The one that stands out the most to me was playing Santa's elf at Navy Pier. Because I'm a storyteller, right? So, like, the best part about getting a job offer like that is thinking, oh my God, I am gonna have so much material. The worst part about it is when David Sedaris comes and fucking beats you to the punch, but whatever. I'm still gonna tell you guys a story. Can't knock me down. So, I get hired with my best friend, David Feldman. David Feldman, you're thinking? That sounds positively Jewish. Yeah, even Santa has a diversity quota. So I get hired with David, and I always gravitate toward playing line elf, but David really loves playing Wrangler elf, which is essentially just like the carny that stands in front of the big top trying to con people out of their money, or in this situation, their children. Because it is not good for business if there's not a big line of kids waiting to sit on the big guy's lap, you know? I mean, it's Santa Claus, for Christ's sake, not a Catholic priest. So anyway, this one day, David is totally under the gun. He's hustling everybody, like grandparents, teenagers, Muslims. And then he sees them, the perfect family coming down the way. And they are just like 2 parents, 2 children. They honestly look like they got dressed that morning in order to pay for shitty Polaroids of themselves. So David hustles on up to them, and he strikes. But here's the thing. David didn't grow up saying Santa Claus's name over and over and over again every night in December like a rosary prayer. So he blanks. And being unfamiliar with our strange ways, he just replaces it with what he thinks is a good alternative. Hey kids, who wants to meet Jesus? So, an aggressively jolly death threat from a grown-ass man wearing a name tag that reads Tinseltoes. Naturally, those parents shuffled their children away as though David were a homeless man covered in piss. But here's the thing, right? So back then, I actually thought those parents were being a little bit extreme. But now, I'm a parent. And suddenly, a really good person who makes really sound decisions. So shouldn't I be looking at that situation through a totally different lens? Shouldn't I be totally appalled by this now? Yeah, probably. But instead, you're just still looking at a mediocre mother whose greatest parental aspiration is to hopefully, one day, remember to brush my daughter's second set of teeth.